The Kam situation is actually disgusting because with these trolls like Golden Chris Brown and Kam Situation, you can tell they're kind of like joking and playing characters and just wanting to rage bait people. But Kam said the stuff. He said the N-word with the aha, so that's even worse than saying with the A. And he said the F-slur, which is like, okay. Kam is a child. Wait a second, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Wait a sec. It's somewhere here. It's in one of the emotes. The emojis. Right here. That's him. That's Kam. That's a literal child. And he's white. He can't say these words. And I don't even think he's gay. But you may say, you can't even say that if you're a minority. If you're the minority, you're saying the word too. Yes. Because he's meaning it as an insult. But being a minority kind of excuses it. It kind of softens it. But come on, he's a kid and white. He's never shown to be gay. He's white as fuck. He's probably the whitest person I've ever seen in my life. Like, I am cutting ties with him. I am sorry to have associated with him in the past. Yes, you may say how I was friends with only, but I engaged with him. I didn't know he said that stuff. I've never discovered he said this. I discovered this today. I will never, ever support a racist and a homophobe and any type of hatred towards any minority. Any minority deserves the treatment of a human being. They don't deserve to be belittled, called names, and just be treated like absolute dog shit. Kam, if you're watching this, you deserve to be grounded. And you deserve to not have your phone anymore, because what if you redo that stuff? What if you do even worse stuff? Call even worse names? What if you do that? Because there's two facades of this. It's in text. But if he says it in real life, it's even worse, because he said that shit. And he typed that shit. Yes, it doesn't excuse it, but voiced slur usage instead of text is much worse, because text, you don't say it. But with voice, you say it, that's even bigger of an offense. But in text, it's already a massive offense. Kam is a child. He is probably in his... He's not even 10 yet. I think he's like 11. I don't know. He looks actually younger than that, but at this point, kids look younger. Which is weird, but they look younger. But we don't care about his age. But what matters is he's a kid. He will learn. Eventually, I think he already learned that using slurs like this is unacceptable. Horrible behavior. And plus, for example, a girl like Chris Brown or a Kam Situation didn't say slurs. They didn't say slurs. They instead hid their horrible thinking. For Chris Brown, Kam Situation clearly said, which cousin would you marry if you were forced to? First, second, third, or no? Whatever, fourth, or blah, blah, blah. He said that. But, for example, Chris Brown, he has said some horrible stuff. Like, you should quit your partner if you got an upgrade. And even more horrible stuff that I can't really remember, but he said some horrible stuff. But he hides it. In this level of British comedy, the level of like a British person, he talks so funny, he hides it behind very specific wording. For example, Kam Situation said the stuff. He said it without sugarcoating it with some funny stories, without this is the reality, without the weird uppercase, without this is the reality, we are the Blaylock. He said that shit. No sugarcoating. And now, Kam said the worst shit ever, which is slurs, against people. Remember, black people have been dealing hundreds of years of calling code names, having hate crimes committed against them, being lynched, which is a hate crime, multiple casualties, being treated like an animal, being treated horribly by literally every other minority. But they persevered. The word N-word, which I can't even say. I can't even take an example of saying it because I can't. I'm white. I can't say that word. And I know this is bad. Like, the word N-word without R evolved to the N-word without A, which is a slang word, which is showing something called retaking that word. For example, the F slur, the T word for transgender people. I don't even know if I can say it. I've said it in the past, well knowing it was a slur. I don't even say it. But the F slur has been turned into a positive thing. The word gay, which I can't say, it's not even a slur at this point, has been turned into a word for the LGBT folk. Queer too. Used to be an insult, now it's literally the most common word for LGBT folk besides LGBT. And yeah, I will probably be rehabilitated, but that's tough. And yeah, honestly, Pretty Cam has done some horrible stuff. Why did I defend him? Because the stuff he quote unquote did was just use as drama for most of my knowing of him. It was just drama with like Mad Max. I don't really hang out with this side of the community of the race this much, but yeah. But now he's done some horrible stuff. Saying slurs is unacceptable. He deserves to be taken seriously. He deserves to have his phone taken for at least a year. Because clearly, he's not growing up to be a good person. As a community of many people, many minorities, many variety, we need to take steps in alienating and stopping any support, for example, the good at Chris Browns, the good at Travis Scott's, the Kanitsus. We need to stop giving them what they want, which is a reaction. We need to stop giving them reactions. We need to stop, leave them alone, and they'll stop their act. Probably. We'll continue it until we recognize them again, but yeah. As a community, we should do this for Pretty Cam. Pretty Cam is not a good person, and we need to treat him like a child, because he is a child, and we need to treat him with nothing. We can, however, talk about the drama, which is fair play. It's fair play. You can talk about the drama, of course, but come on. At a point, we don't talk about Pretty Cam anymore. Don't stop adding him. Stop doing collabs with him. Stop doing whatever you want with him, because he is not getting better. And his address, he said he was PowerPointed, the message of him saying the N-word and the F-slur. So he will not take any accountability for his words. He will not take anything. Just like a pedophile, I think. Yeah, that's the same thing. Don't take accountability and say it's fake by any means necessary. But come on. It is true. I've looked at the messages. They're true. It doesn't look fake. It actually looks real. I will say, stop supporting him. Goodbye. It was a long rant, but goodbye, guys. See you on the dark side of this community. Bing, boom,